One of the inlets that people add to their Skoolie is the city water, freshwater inlet. And we chose to use a stainless steel one, just like we are using for the gravity feed as well as the 30 amp shore power hookup. All three are stainless steel. All three are stainless steel marine grade. So this one is made by Sea Dog, and I'll post the exact model and the link to purchase it. And it allows you to hook up a hose from a house or a campground or RV park directly into here, and it bypasses the freshwater tank and then goes to the filter and then throughout the rest of the bus. I'll show you how I'm installing it. It doesn't come with a gasket, or I lost the gasket, so I'm gonna have to make one. And for that I got this gasket, rubber gasket maker that I got at like Home Depot or Lowe's. I'll post links for all this. It's like 6 inches by 6 inches by 1/8 of an inch. They also have one that's 1/16 of an inch thick. You can probably use either of those. I've placed my the inlet onto the gasket, and I'm gonna try to trace it. It's kind of a little tricky. I gotta bend the gasket. And I'm going to cut that hole out. That's good. And now I'm gonna trace the outside of the gasket, and then while I'm at it, I'm gonna trace the holes for the screws. And now I can cut the gasket back on. And then I can cut off the excess that's sticking out. And I drilled out the 3 holes for the screws. I mean, you can poke them out or with something or whatever, you know. So I've marked over here where I want to put the city water inlet. This is the 30 amp shore power, and this is the gravity feed for the water, which I'm still installing. So I kind of made it so it's like a triangle, symmetrical. So I'm gonna do a center punch. I always do that when I'm drilling metal. Just grab a screw, I hammer that, it keeps the drill bit in place. Here's my step bit in my drill. The hole needs to be a 1-inch hole. So I'm gonna use the step bit to drill only up to 1 inch. It has a marking on it. Some masking tape because I want to paint this raw metal. I got this Rust-Oleum 2X Ultra Cover paint and primer. It says it works on metal. What I have here is a adapter for 1.5 inch PEX to 1.5 inch male MPT threaded. So I'm gonna need that for here. And I got some Teflon tape, PTFE thread seal tape. And you gotta put it, when you're looking at it, thread like this, clockwise. Let's tighten this. Now before I install this on the bus, I'm gonna tighten this. See, inside of it, I was able to find a bent bolt that has the right diameter, the right size to fit in here. The right size head. And then I'm gonna tighten that. It has a little O-ring of the back here, so that makes it watertight. Since I need to drill this all the way through and I don't have a hole saw that's 1 1/8 inches, I only have the step bit, I'm gonna use a regular drill bit and drill through, and then drill through the wall, and then on the outside I can get a bigger hole saw and drill a hole. Oh, it's not long enough. Luckily I have this foot-long drill bit from a different project. That'll be more than enough. Now I got my hole saw, I got my pilot hole. I'm gonna drill through the foam too. Now I'm gonna remove the foam. Come on, little cake. There we go. Now, as you can see, it has a notch at the bottom that's sticking out. So I need to cut that notch out in the sheet metal. That's probably there to make sure to like lock, so it doesn't, even though it has these screws, it kind of helps with stay in place. It doesn't spin or anything. It's just an additional safety besides the screws. To know exactly perfect vertical, where the vertical is, I'm gonna put a speed square up here on the rub rail. Alright, that's about it. You can eyeball it too. I got this little mini hacksaw, so I'm gonna use that to cut that notch. There we go. I need to widen the hole, the notch, so I'm using this 8-inch file. Okay, there we go. Fits. Perfect. Now I'm gonna mark the holes for the screws. I'm gonna center punch the holes with a screw and a hammer to keep the drill in place. now I'm getting a piece of 1/2-inch PEX. I'm gonna cut it. And now I'm taking a 1/2-inch copper crimp ring. So this is PEX B. Okay, there's also PEX A, brand name Uponor, but this is PEX B. PEX B is perfectly adequate and good for Skoolie purposes. PEX A is like top of the line. So I got my inlet, put the ring on, put it over here. The distance of the ring from the edge of PEX should be 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch. Okay. And now I got this crimper. And important is to make sure the crimper is grabbing onto the whole ring, not just like a half of it or 3/4. You want to compress everything. There it is. That's between 1/8 inch and 1/4. And this tool came with this little go no-go gauge. So it has a 1/2-inch no-go, 1/2-inch go. There is a 1/2-inch go. That's good. 1/2-inch no-go. That's good. So it's good because sometimes you have to adjust the tool. The screws I'm gonna use are number 8 3/4 inch long stainless steel Phillips oval head tap screws. You can also get 1-inch ones. I actually only have 2 left of the 3/4 inch, but I have some 1-inch ones that I'm gonna use. Line up the holes of the gasket. Alright, that's solid. And then when we got city water or shore water, we just screw this guy on here. That's looking good. You could come here with a utility knife and shave off this gasket if it's sticking out too much. This is the other end of it. And that's gonna connect here and go into the plumbing after the pump and before the filter. There it is. It's done. And we got the trifecta of inlets. 30 amp shore power, gravity feed, water, and city shore water hookup. Did them symmetrical in a triangle. It's not center on the window, but it is what it is.